All right, so welcome to Conversations again with Yemi and Bimbo. We are Yemi and Bimbo, obviously, and we have an interesting topic for us today.
Conversations.
Yeah, the main issue about communication is not words, either written or typed. It's body language, and if the earlier everybody understands that, the better. You can be saying things, but your body language overrides it. It has cancelled what you have said. You can be claiming to be respectful to your wife, but your body language, or to your husband, but your body language does not show it.
Yeah.
So if something is almost 70%, if you have 70 in an exam, you have an A. So I think people, in fact, without words, your body language can communicate better. The challenge is people just think, I've said it, I've typed it. No, it's the body language. Your
Yeah.
body language. Your body language. That's why this devices thing has an impact. If it doesn't mean you are rude as a person or you don't value the other person, but the moment you don't attend to what I'm saying, I mean, we are blessed. When she reads my body a lot. Someone does not have to open their mouth before you know that they are not happy about something. You should know. Don't let's not pretend like, since he didn't say or she didn't say I should not go out, I'm going out. No. You should know when your wife or your husband, okay, what about our children? What about when they cannot really use words? But we can pick that, there's something
Yes.
affecting this child. I need to attend to it. The main problem here is selfishness at times. When we always look at things from our own perspective alone. This is what I want. This is how I want it. And these are my expectations. I want to say this generally. Something that would help any relationship is putting yourself in the shoes of the other person. I've said it to pastors. I've said it in most of the fora where I'm privileged to speak. It will help you. I mean, like the federal government now. You announced fuel increase. We know subsidy must go, but maybe we should have had some palliatives or some things to help the people.
Some awareness before.
Some more maybe before subsidy was just announced like that. I'm not sure it was communicated the best way and see the ripple effect. So people cannot begin to see it as you don't value us. And yet the removal of subsidy is because we value that the citizens have to get better with the economy. But the way it was not communicated, I can say something else. So oh God. So we have to be aware of that, generally, that our body language speaks a lot. And when somebody is talking to you and you roll your eyes or you just walk away, you are speaking a lot, more than whatever words you say. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry, the I'm sorry issue. Somebody said, I told him I'm sorry. And I've had those moments in counseling. A husband was telling me, or wife, I've told him I'm sorry. And the way they would say it in the counseling, you might be wondering, what else does he or she want? Then you now call the other person, how did she say it or he say it? You now start hearing other part of the story. I had to talk for like 1 hour before she said, I'm sorry. Like, you have to explain. That means the I'm sorry don't even come willingly. And then when the I'm sorry came out, it was like, is that what you want to eat? Okay, I'm sorry. You understand? So the tone of your voice, the body language, it matters a lot. And please,
I think we are still going back to the reason why we said, even with devices, because a lot of you won't know all these things if you don't have one-on-one conversations. A lot of people would rather not go through all this. I don't want wala. Let me just send message so that But it doesn't mean that you have a healthy relationship. However, I'll also say that when you have, especially for new couples, young couples, you would definitely have moments where you're seeing these things and like, what's going on? It's okay. It's okay to see it. Why did you do that? And then have a conversation about, I didn't like the way you rolled your eyes. Because some people, that's all they know. They came from a background or something, and
Of rolling
that's
eyes.
how, it's always been. That's how they know it. And then you have a conversation. I know what it makes you closer. The fact that you can express your likes and dislikes. Some people, it's just their personality. It's the expression of their personality that just, oh, okay, not like they are really being rude, but it's just all they know. But when the other party realizes it, sees and says, you know what, this is what you are saying. And the person says, oh, I didn't know. That conversation helps with a closer relationship. The fact that I can read him and I can know what he means or what he's trying to say or what he's feeling. And I can then ask that, oh, what's going on? Are you okay? What's happening? Because I read him. Not that when I'm busy with my device, it's easier, it's simpler, but I don't know him. I'm not reading him. I don't understand my spouse. So we're still going back to that place where we are
Yeah.
saying that until you have, even if there'll be conflict, because a lot of people are running away from that conflict. It's easier to, like you said earlier, when we were talking about your boss or you're a boss or a father or something, you automatically know that, oh, I can put my device down and listen because it's an instruction that's coming. However, when it's someone that is your friend or a
Or supposed to be your
spouse,
friend.
a friend or a spouse, you just take caution to the wind that, well, they will understand. So it's still going back to that place of value, that we need to value one another, appreciate the time. Even though that time sometimes could lead to some tension, you would still find a
It's
way
better
of
to face it.
resolving that tension.
Conversations.
We have to be very clear here when it comes to marriage. When you want something to work, it affects the way you deal with matters. If I want my marriage to work, I still love my wife or believe in the relationship, it affects the way you, should I use the word, even fight? Do you understand? But when you don't really want something to work, you don't bloody care, there's a way you just talk. And that's the foundation. If you believe, and I need to tell people that this separation, divorce thing is easier to say. What is after 6 is more than 7. I wish people understand what they're bargaining when you just think, I don't care. You have to care. Are you really ready for the many, many things that would come up when, God forbid, things really scatter? You're not. You might think you are. Maybe you should go and read about it and study it. So I'm trying to say that so that you are in a posture of, I want this thing to work. If that is there as a foundation, then value. Because we are pastors, and I won't lie to you. We just like God. God has the stories of people. The kind of words that people use on their spouses, it's alarming, it's toxic, it's bad. You can't be talking to your wife and be saying, I hate you, you are nothing, you don't have any value in my life. You can't be saying that and expect that home to prosper. And unfortunately, some women also do that. But maybe men are more, culpable, or if I hope that's the right word. Those words, and now even when you now make those mistakes, can you be humble enough to come back after some time to apologize and retract and really apologize? Because people are using those words, and from my own spiritual background, words are seeds. The moment you're telling somebody you are nothing, you are a fool, you are a goat, you have planted seeds, it's going to damage that home. And those are like basics. Can we get back to encouraging words, kind words, edifying words, words that build, even when things are a bit tight? In Lagos we have public transport where people, sometimes the bus is still in a kind of motion, and you want people to hop in at a bus stop. The way you tell a young man, quickly hop in, is not the same way you talk to a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
If you do it the same with a pregnant woman, then you don't have sense. The young man is there at the top with his knapsack. Okay, come in, you can, come in, hop in. But you see a pregnant woman, the language should change. I'm saying that when it comes to communication, we should also understand people's moods. I'm different when I'm tired. But you're different when you are tired, when you are fatigued. There's a way when your wife is stressed or your husband is tired, the way you communicate at that time should be different. Or maybe money is not plenty and you are aware. The way you communicate should be different. Don't be behaving like you are blind. I think that's where the problem is. So it's my own is just to ask for money. Yes, but what about when the man doesn't have money on him? Can't you ask in a different way? I use the example of a man telling the wife, I don't have money. It looks like I've told her I don't have money. What does I don't have money really mean? Why don't you have money? Can you respect her enough to say, those two companies I worked for, they've not paid though, if I'm angry with them. That qualifies why I don't have money. Or they've not paid me money in the office, so they've not paid for 3 months. That's better coming. Not that I don't have money. Or I don't have time. Oh, who stole the time? You don't have time. Why? Oh, I'm going for this training, or I'm going here. So sometimes people assume that they are communicating, but they are not. In fact, the gaps remaining leaves room for Satan to infiltrate. I hope I'm not too serious for you today. I read a research where they discovered that when people are having extramarital affairs, one of the first places it shows up is in their chatting, excessive chatting. So sometimes you find that in a relationship when somebody is on the phone much more than they talk to their wife or their husband, it's easier for the other person to start thinking, is there somebody closer to him or her than me? And if that gap is left, Satan will fill it up with all kinds of things. That's why we need to be aware of these things about devices, about valuing people, about the things we are communicating that we might not know we are communicating. I hope that makes sense.
So I think I would also want us to round off by saying someone should break that cycle.
Oh, yes.
One of the parties. I would also say let your conversations be memorable, be exciting, be fun. We said earlier that for some people, the reason why they always go back to the phone device is for a way of escaping tense moments. Every time we are talking, it has to be fight, tension. Definitely, it's human nature. They will look for somewhere to escape. Please, I don't want to die before my time. That kind of mentality. So we want to encourage people. If you get back to that place of talking, conversing, let it be memorable. Don't let it be fight every time. Sometimes you don't win in a conflict. It's okay. Move on and let it go. Ensure that the fun moments supersede the tense moments, so that there's always a longing to have that talk, rather than every time there's a talk, there's fight. Every time I talk, you're the one that's wrong. The person will always go back to a place of comfort, a place of ease. So when we get to that, when we find ourselves in that position where devices or other things are becoming like the alternative or the new life, someone should break that cycle. Let's start off creatively. Look for ways to bring fun, laughter, encouraging words, validation, affirmation to your conversation, and then take it up from there. It's a pandemic, like we said. Everybody is now used to devices, like we said, work and all. So it's not like you're blaming anybody in that sense, but the cycle has to stop.
Yeah, it's better to over-communicate than under-communicate, or it's better to communicate before you need to communicate. So much to say about communication. You can read a lot of articles online. I think that will help us on how to communicate with a woman or how to communicate with a man. I think we'll be better off if we value our relationships. We can get more education on that. Hope to see you next time. Learn to, like, subscribe, share, okay? And send us your comments also. I think that would be a blessing. Bye.